Josh and I were actually in a mastermind yesterday that had some good discussion. So we kind of want to bring that conversation here to our community from a teacher's lens, because we were specifically in our admin mastermind group focused on leadership lens through this dialogue. And there were so many good resources shared, but from a teacher's lens, I think there's some good reality here. So Josh, can you really quick tell us a little bit about admin mastermind?
Yeah, of course. So we meet every Tuesday, 8 a.m. Central Time. And yeah, our conversation was on the connection versus compliance piece. And so, for administrators right now, that a lot of them in the world is to start to get into classrooms and finish up those observations and start working on the assessment process with teachers. And, we're just talking through the power of connection and making sure that we're touching the needs of the teachers versus just strictly going through a checklist with domains and trying to get that process done. So although it's important, there's ways to give feedback every single day that is helpful and non-threatening to teachers. And so really going through that and trying to be creative on what that looks like every single day. And I just love that mastermind group so much. They are so uplifting to each other and really trying to focus on solving issues or being creative and, making sure that everybody is finding a good solution. So love that time together. And, for anyone out there that's an admin that's looking for a way to connect with other administrators, Tuesday mornings for you.
From a teacher's perspective, I know I said this to you earlier before we went live, but I feel like evaluations are something that many teachers have been taught to be scared of. Mm-hmm. And I know that we are all familiar with the story of the leadership teams who might use evaluations as a weapon for teachers. But I think even the administrators who aren't doing that get that reputation. I do think it's kind of bred in us to be scared of feedback, scared of evaluation tools, because we feel like they're threatening. Would you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I was trying to think about that when we were talking, and I really do think just in education as a whole, assessments have been used. I mean, when you think about it as a student, like there's a lot of anxiety when you take a test, or any assessment, that you're not going to live up to whatever expectation there is. And so I think it is human nature. And I think in education as a whole umbrella, I think that assessment and feedback is kind of bred to be scary. And so when you're a teacher, I think that just kind of carries over. And, we do have high expectations for ourselves. And so we want to do well. At the same point, I think the assessment process and, what is being provided by an administrator is kind of overblown. I think in our minds, we have made it something where, I will, it's going to be on my record forever. It's going to stick with me. It's one of these things where I'll maybe not get a job somewhere, or maybe I'll get fired from where I currently am. And what, especially in the conversation yesterday, which I loved, which is the culture of feedback. Like as admin, how are we making it so it's less scary and intimidating and really there to be non-judgmental and to help teachers just fine-tune things, right? We're not looking for you to change everything.
Well, and I think that is the beautiful shift of hopefully where we can take this conversation, because even in the comments, we have somebody commenting that evaluations are scary, especially when you're not tenured. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly how I felt. Like, I understand this anxiety of I'm nervous about an evaluation because I want to keep my job, which, to be honest, friends, and I know this is like terrible to say, but like, that's not the reason you're going to get fired. Like, if you're losing your job, you first off will know far before that evaluation. And second of all, that's not going to be the thing. So I'm struggling because I lived in this world for a decade thinking that evaluations were my either safe zone, where it was meaning that I was going to keep my job, or it was going to end my career. And the reality is, to be honest, like with this network, if you lose your job or you're looking for a job, you should reach out to the Teach Better team. We would love to help you find the right job, the right placement, coach you in any way. Josh, I know that you and I constantly meet with people in the spring with like interview techniques. Like, we want all of you to be successful. So don't be nervous about doing something that you know is good for kids because you're worried about your job. On the second lens of that, though, we all can improve at our jobs. Our jobs are something that we can't be complacent in, and we need to constantly improve. And one of the best ways to improve is to get personalized feedback. We know that because we give our students that same thing.